Or
This is Rashawn Slater, first round draft pick for the LA Chargers, and you're listening to the Charged Up Bolts podcast. Bolt up.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 44 of the Charged Up Bolts podcast. Well, what we're talking about tonight, folks. I'm your host, John Was Jr. I'm joined tonight by three magnificent co-hosts, all with smiles on their face because the Bolts clocked up their second win of the season, basically brushing aside the Chiefs with a comfortable 30-24 victory. I'm going to head over to California first. John Ayres, come on. What's your takes for the game?
Oh, a lot of takes. Obviously, the Mike Williams breakout is for real. They know how to use him. He's become a different receiver. And with the exception of that, drop there in the last series with, again, I do credit Romo for that, saying that he bulleted that. So maybe he probably didn't have a chance at that. But I mean, that was amazing. Just the red zone offense for the Chiefs is really bad, and thankfully, because I think a decent red zone defense might have kept the Bolts out, but I don't care about all that. I just know that we won, and I care about victory. But yeah, penalties in the red zone and poor kicking. If they want to keep winning, they got to clean that up. This cannot be a constant theme. It cannot be a constant theme. And finally, Brandon Staley has the biggest balls of all. I cannot. I cannot even like it is just amazing. Like why go for it? Why kick it ever again? That's what I'm saying. Just don't even kick it. Just go for it every time.
So when the Chargers had their final possession and Herbert made that sort of long play downfield, I thought, wow, we need to be eating the clock as we did against Washington. That didn't happen. We found ourselves in a red zone situation. I thought all we need now is to score a quick touchdown here and Mahomes to get the football back. That didn't happen as I thought it would. I mean, the Chiefs on the day put up 437 net yards, but 2 interceptions and 2 amazing takeaways. Mike Davis picking up the fumble after Campbell's brilliant peanut punch. I mean, Bez, what's your biggest takeaways from tonight's win?
Mate, it's I predicted the Cowboys' defeat, and I said, don't panic. Don't worry, because we're going to blow out the Chiefs. They're overrated. We're going to take away the ball from Mahomes. Asante Samuel Jr. is going to get an interception, and we're going to win. And what happens? You guys need to start listening. There's no more hat eating over here. We nailed it. And what I'm excited about is that, fair enough, we don't let teams be explosive. And they pick up some yards, they move the ball. But you know what? We're hitting hard, we're tackling hard, we're making them fight once they actually get it. They're punching the ball out. Oh, I'm absolutely buzzing. I think they've done an incredible job tonight. It was never in doubt unless they let Vizcaíno kick a field goal, which I'm glad they didn't. Staley, we trust.
I mean, Dan, look, it was never going to be easy against the Kansas City Chiefs because, look, they're 1-2, but they're a good football team. Andy Reid's a fantastic coach, as you quite rightly mentioned in the last podcast. He generally doesn't lose back-to-back games, but we managed to overcome and walk away with a W. What's your takes from the game?
I'm still not sure how it all happened. I really thought we were going to throw it at the end there when we started, not kneeling when we were so close. But I get it. It worked. If you don't risk it, then there's no victory brisket. And man, it was something. Andy Reid is such a good coach at making adjustments, and you could see that at halftime, going in, down, coming out, and take like chewing up the clock for the fantastic third quarter, which I know John has some thoughts on third quarters. So I'll leave that there.
We're just gonna. I think when it goes to halftime, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go make myself. I might even go drive somewhere to pick up the groceries, come back, because the Chargers have been awful in third quarters. I don't understand it. I mean, all 3 games, they have just been so bad in the third quarter. So, I mean, they had about like 2.5 minutes, I think I wrote it down, but now I can't find it. But they had like 2.5 minutes of like total ball time, I think, in the third quarter. It was just another atrocious quarter. But I would much rather have bad third quarters than bad fourth quarters, because that was a hell of a thing. I mean, hashtag no risk it, no brisket is my new mantra.
It's real.
Just you start printing the hats, I'll buy 5 of them, no problem. Different colors though, obviously. But it is, oh God, just having a coach who's like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go for it. And you know what? Look, at the time I was screaming and yelling at the television, or at the telly, as you say. And I was saying, why? Why are we not just running the ball, draining the clock out, and kicking the field goal for the win? Which again, I'm not saying, I mean, obviously Vizcaino is very unreliable at this point. So I get that. And I get that there was like 30-mile-an-hour winds going against the kicker. And I get all that. But I mean, once you get to like the 5, isn't that close enough to where Herbert could just kick it in? I mean, I said this from the beginning. Instead of going for extra points or short field goals, just line Herbert back there to kick. We've seen him; he can kick field goals. We've seen the videos. That way, the defense has no idea what to do. Is Herbert actually going to kick it, or is the holder going to catch it, toss it up to Herbert, and Herbert's going to throw a touchdown or a 2-point
We're
conversion?
saving that for the Super Bowl.
I mean,
you
start putting Herbert up.
I mean, guys, come on. I mean, the Chiefs are sat in their locker room now, and then the Kansas City fans, are thinking, how have we lost this game? Well, guess what?
The bottom of
Welcome
the division,
to the
Kansas
world
City
of the LA
fans.
Chargers. Welcome to our world, because we've been through this now for the last season and a bit, all right? Losing close games. This time it's our turn to win one, and it's been coming, all right? It wasn't pretty at times. And like you said, John, that third quarter, we gave up 17 points to the Chiefs. You're thinking, what on earth's going on here? But this game, like most NFL games, could have gone down several rabbit holes, and this is why we love it so much. When the Chiefs started that first drive, I thought, they're gonna stick 50 on us here. Just as I thought Dallas were going to. It's starting hot again, but look, we forced turnovers. You look at the Derwin James injury; he left the locker room just before halftime. Bose was in and out. I'm sure those guys are going to be in the ice bucket and the ice bath for the next 2 or 3 days. There were so many players that stepped up to the mark and did what they needed to do. And it all boils down to one man, really, that got us out of the jam. He does not, Justin Herbert, never, ever looks like he's in a panic, in a flap. It just looks like he's going to command and control the game.
He's always got to play, hasn't
he? He has.
A smile on his face.
And a smile on his
Nerves
face.
of steel.
This is it. This is it. I mean, John, from my perspective, I'm still not convinced I know what we're seeing from the Chargers after 3 weeks. We should have beaten Dallas. The penalties killed us, obviously. This week, I don't want to say we stumbled through a victory. We made the most of what the Chiefs gave us, and we capitalized. We've got to find some consistency. We're heading into another divisional matchup in week 4. I mean, what do you want to see? If there's 2 areas of the game you want to see cleaning up, heading to face John Gruden's Raiders, what is it?
Run game and red zone penalties. Done. Just figure out how to stop the other team's run game, because if Josh Jacobs is healthy, he's going to be an impossible person to bring down with this, how bad this defense is playing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had like 100, and I think his last 3 games combined, he's had like 115 total yards on the ground. And of course today he gashes for over 100 yards just himself on the ground. So, I mean, they need to be able to stop the run. And if they can't, I don't know what to do. I mean, they're gonna get destroyed by a team like the Raiders, who have actually put together solid games on defense and solid rushing attack. And if we can't stop the run, we're gonna lose to a team like the Raiders, which is just
to
awful.
chip in there. Derek Carr has started this game with a pick 6. So
that's
devastated.
Josh Jacobs was inactive for the game. They're relying on Kenyon Drake, who's not the same runner. So maybe they thought they needed to rely on Carr, which was a mistake for them, obviously. So
I mean, you all know like a stat. You know, like a stat, and you look at the box score, look at the numbers. If you were to take the actual final score away and say, guess who won this game, you'd say the Chiefs all day long. Just look at the box score now. They had 33 first downs. 12 of those rushing compared to the Bolts, 3 rushing first down. We never even got our running game established, let alone trying to stop the run. But we found a way to win. Go on, Bez, from your construction site. What are you going to say there, buddy?
All of this I'm hearing. We dominated these overrated Chiefs. And the thing is that we smashed them with turnovers. We let them have... I'm not pessimistic. Let the other teams run. If they want to have some run yards, eat your heart out. We're there for when they inevitably throw the ball, to get the turnovers, to get the ball back in our hands with an explosive D. that happens time again because every team's going to take a shot and every team's going to be fearful that someone in the secondary is going to get that ball. Or if you're going to go on a slant, you're going to get absolutely taken out by Campbell, who I was slagging off, but actually, made me eat my hat. And Herbert's going to come on and outscore you and move the ball down the field. And Staley has, we've watched Lynn and McCoy for years try and just edge over the line and blow it time and again. So no, I don't want to run the clock down, take a knee, try and kick that field goal that inevitably goes wrong. No chance. He's putting it in the hands of the best player on the Chargers team and saying, these Chiefs are overrated. They're the 32nd D in the league. I'm going to get a first down, even if it's 4th and 20, don't care. And then I'm going to run it down your throat. And I don't care that what I should do, I'm going to score a touchdown, mate. And I'm going to beat you because it sets a tone. It's a leadership tone. It's a we're better than you tone. And you know what? Big prediction coming. I don't know we'll ever lose again.
You've got a point there because if we keep doing this, if we keep being aggressive on 4th downs late in the game, and we keep being successful, the opposition, the defense, are going to go, it's him again. They're going to score because we're going to start setting a trend. And it is a mindset
game. Mentality.
It is. And where we would have never seen this last year from Anthony Lynn or the year before. Not in a million years. We never went for it in 3rd and short, let alone 4th.
You remember Rivers' fumble when he was trying to position for the winning field goal?
Yeah.
No. Put it in our hands. Stop trying to limp over the line and put your foot on their throat and choke them. That's what we did.
Dan, our resident special teams guy.
Come on, guys. Just put me in. It's just wind. It's windy here all the time. But just to look at a different team's special teams for here, can we just take a moment to acknowledge that Justin Tucker just kicked a 66-yard field goal?
In fairness, it bounced.
In a dome.
It did bounce in, but it was still impressive.
There wasn't any wind. You should know that wind is a natural enemy of a football.
Wind doesn't matter. It's fine.
It was
kicking right there.
Got to bend it like Beckham.
Legatron.
Thinking of special teams, and someone you mentioned the other day, John, is special teams is where he belongs. I see Drew Tranquil turned up a bit today. He was where he needed to be, which is more than you can say for Kenneth Murray, who again was just kind of, was he there? He had a couple of tackles, but hey, you've got Gilman playing quite a bit at safety.
I like that.
Nas got a few more big hits.
Nas led the team in tackles. Drew Tranquil and Kaiser White were effective again, but the PFF box score hasn't populated snaps yet. I'd like to know how many snaps Kenneth Murray played.
Hillary was all over the place as well. He may not have got the tackles, but he was getting in there.
Can we please stop putting Mark Webb on Premier tight ends?
Can we stop putting Trey Pipkins in the game?
Oh, Jesus.
Can we stop Trey Pipkins? Just stop at that. Can we just stop?
You've even got Roma going, thanks, Pip. Good game.
Brilliant. Yeah. What did you contribute last 2 weeks? Well, face mask and a false start. Get that guy to walk home.
I mean, John, going back to the offense, and this is not a troll question because I know Bez tries to do that. Mike Williams, he's had a phenomenal start to the season. Let's take a theoretical look at this and say he gets to week 17 and he's leading the receiver core. Are we going to shell the money out for him for next season? I know it's only week 3. What's your thoughts so far?
I mean, they may have to. They don't have anybody else in that receiver room. I mean, you can't trust Jaylee Guyton, apparently. He's dropping balls again. Just terrible. And that pass interference, sure, it was a pass interference by technicality, but that ball didn't get dropped at the end there because of the pass interference. It got dropped because he dropped it. Hit him in the chest. The other one, hit him in the freaking hands. I don't know where you have to throw it. Maybe you have to throw it at his crotch. Maybe if you throw it at his crotch, he'll catch it. I just out of pure instinct of because he's just cannot catch. He cannot be relied on. Josh Palmer needs to be out there, but Josh Palmer again. Where does Josh Palmer fit in this offense? If you're going to use Mike Williams the way that he probably should have been used from day one, and Mike Williams is finally going to actually reach his potential, which we all thought was there, but we hadn't seen it yet. And again, I was advocating to cut him because why? He hadn't reached his potential. Nobody, and again, for me, it's shining the light on the fact that maybe it was just the usage. Maybe the coaching was just like, hey, you just go run down the field and jump up and catch the ball, and that's all you need to do. And maybe he never sat there and spent an offseason working on running routes, working on using his leverage and his body to get himself open and get that separation, because he really wasn't getting good separation before. And now you're seeing it. Now you're seeing him again. Maybe he just needed the right offense to unlock him. But I mean, he's worth every penny at this point. I mean, he is honestly. I love Keenan Allen. He's number one in my heart, and he's always good. But I mean, Mike Williams may be the number one receiver on the team right now. Just
He is.
98 yards and a touchdown a game average. Well,
Yes.
over one touchdown a game. He got 2 in this, didn't he? So
We tried to get Larry Roundtree into the game, but he wasn't productive.
he's all right. Larry Roundtree is Larry Roundtree.
Yeah,
You're going to give him the ball. He's going to rumble forward, and he's going to do a few things. That's it. He's not exciting. He is what he is.
just
He's
to
a fine
change his
running back.
pace, just
He
bring
is.
him in.
Change the
And
pace.
to
You
be
can't
honest,
have-
he's been better than Joshua Kelly has in that role. Joshua
Yeah,
Kelly was not playing that role properly. At least Roundtree is. I don't like him back on kickoff returns. Like, there's no reason for that. He just, I mean, and that one where he brought it out of the end zone at the end, right before the half.
I
I'm
was
like,
just
what-
like,
what's
oh my
the
god, oh
point?
my god, oh my god.
Why?
No.
Like you're risking a potential fumble. It's not like you're gonna break one free. Like again, between Roundtree and KJ Hill, I think our coaching staff has basically said, look, we don't need a big return. We just want guys who are gonna not fumble the ball, I guess. So you put guys out there with some pretty sure hands, I guess. I don't know. I mean, Roundtree had a pretty bad pass drop that hit him in the face mask or whatever. So it makes me question the hands actually, but whatever. He's fine. Austin Eckler's the man back there. He's doing exactly what needs to happen. He needs to have a pretty even split between rushes and between targets, and that's where he's going to live and die. He had 6 targets and he had 11 carries. Again, I want to see a 10-10 split from him. I want to see him get 20 touches where he gets about 10 rushing attempts and 10 targets a game. If you feed Eckler like that, he's going to do stuff like he did today. Is he going to break 80-yard touchdown runs? Probably not, but he's going to get you chunk plays every once in a while, and is he going to get those open flat targets and take them for a big play? He's going to do that consistently. It's going to keep the offense moving. So I'm happy with that.
I mean, Bez, another 8 penalties today for 50 yards. That's part of our game we need to clean up.
Well, all the refs need to, cut us some slack. No, to be fair, I thought they were poor in the early half of the game. We looked poor. There were penalties. The refs were on our back, and actually, I think it evened out, and they ended up refereeing the game quite nicely towards the end.
I don't know
we just can't keep making
Herbert
these rookie efforts.
Slide. Can we please address the Herbert slide? Is he still too?
Close.
Is he does he have not enough notoriety in the league where he doesn't get protected? Any other QB in the league, that's a roughing the passer.
Oh, definitely.
I know it might be quasi ticky tacky, but it doesn't matter. He was still fully sliding, and the guy still hit him. I mean, that's absolutely a penalty for. And if Mahomes did that, I mean, 100%, that's a penalty. They might even kick that guy out of the game for targeting. Like that kind of bullshit needs to stop. We need to get some protection on Herbert because
there was a couple of
garbage.
There was a couple of plays that the Zebras missed as well today. Taunting. Mm-hmm. I saw at least on 2 occasions where last week we got flagged for it. This week, Chiefs are at home, will not flag.
I'm hoping
the NFL are going to bring these rules in. If the NFL are going to establish these rules, they need to maintain consistency and not just do it when the Zebras feel like they're going to, be able to walk out the building without getting their knees broken. You're right, John. And if that was Mahomes, there would have been a flag there. But it's something we have to live with, and we have to make sure that we can control what we can control. And that's exactly what we did today, 30-24. I think we're pretty happy tomorrow morning we'll wake up with that scoreline. But I mean,
I think it's more than just a score, though. I think it's the improvement of individual players, the development of players, the adapting the game plan. Andy Reid adapts and dominates you, and you adapt again, and the boldness. So it's miles more. If we'd lost, I'd still have positives, but we won, and screw you, Chiefs.
But that was a point I was going to come on to. The Chiefs were particularly bad on red zone defense coming to this game. They gave up 4 or 5 today. Now, the Broncos and the Raiders need to be looking at this tape as well as everyone else in the league and making advantage of this, because this could be a really competitive AFC West. We've all written us off, saying none of us outside the Chiefs are going to win the division. Well, it all looks very different after 3 weeks.
Doesn't it?
Are the Chiefs on the decline? This is a Chargers podcast, but look, we've got to do what we need to do to get to the playoffs. Now, whether this is a team in rebuild or whether the front office is going to be aggressive enough to go for it, that's two different conversations. But when you look at the bigger picture, John, I think we've got to take more positives from these first 3 weeks than the negatives. Let the coaches clean up all the issues, that the execution, the ill discipline, the penalties. But from a Chargers point of perspective, we'd have all took 2-1, I think, after the first 3 games if you'd have asked us all in August.
Yeah, I don't think we would have guessed that loss would be to the Cowboys and the win would be against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. But yeah, I'm 100% happy with 2-1. I got a couple tough matchups coming. So we got the Raiders again. If we can take the Raiders on, I think we'd be right up there at the top of the division, depending on how the Broncos look. I think they're up against the Jets, so the Broncos.
The Raiders game is currently 14-0 to the
Holy smokes!
14-0.
That'll do.
You mean against Jacoby Brissett and the Dolphins?
Jake Brisket, 14-0.
Victory Brissett. I've said it time and time again.
Malcolm Brown touchdown and the pick 6 of Derek Carr.
So
nothing could be more Raiders than to look like an actual like a contender in weeks 1 and 2 against good teams, and then come in here and lay a stinker against the freaking Dolphins and their backup Jacoby Brissett, who could
in Las Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas.
So,
I mean,
Dan,
nothing's more Raiders than that.
So what you're really saying, Dan, is for the whole of this week on the NFL Network, they're not going to be discussing Derek Carr for MVP.
Oh, they still find a way.
But no, I mean, look, get back to today's game. It's a massive boost that we've won yet another close game. And I think we've got to now understand that Herbert's not a fluke. There's going to be no regressions, and he's here to mix it up with the best quarterbacks in the league and the best defenses. Bez, you predicted regression, and it is still only week 3, but there's not going to be no signs of that, is there?
Do you know what? I really thought that I was trying to convince myself that he'd peaked and there was nothing more to come from him, but he's so solid. And I love when he rolls out. You always know he's going to find something deep downfield. He has in him 3 or 4 iffy passes a game, but he also has in him 3 or 4 explosive ones a game. And I think I'm quite comfortable in thinking he's the best quarterback in the AFC West. Bold.
Hey, that's bold, but look, he is that good. I mean, I tell you what impresses me about Herbert is his physical courage. I mean, John, he took some hits today, and he made a few scrambles. He's not scared to get his jersey dirty, is he?
No, and as Brandon Staley just said in his press conference, he said we're fortunate as hell to have a gangster quarterback, and he's a gangster. I mean, you saw that he did not shy away from hits. He did not worry about anything. Like when everyone, I think, held their breath when they were like, "Oh, is Herbert injured? What's going on?" He's holding his hand, shaking it. They show the replay of his hand getting freaking bent back, and everyone was just going, "Oh shit!" And Herbert's like, "Nah, He's like, "No, I'm okay." He's like, "My hand, but I'm okay. Go, leave whoever else you're going to throw out there on the sideline." Which, in fairness, I was really interested in that scenario. Who they bring in? Do they bring in Chase Daniel, who is just there to kind of shepherd the offense, or do they bring in the more high upside and high risk Easton Stick? That would have been really exciting. Oh, did Easton Stick suit up? I don't remember. I think he did, right? Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But he's a gangster, so it doesn't matter. He's not leaving that field. He's taking illegal hits. He's freaking running it himself. By the way, why on first down and 1 from the 1, you're not just running QB sneak every single damn time is beyond me.
Yes.
He's going to be hard to stop, isn't he?
All this motion and bullshit. You've got Corey Linsley. Again, he's not amazing right now. I think he's definitely had some early season struggles, but he's been doing a very fine job up there, and he gets pushed when he needs to. So I think if you put it in the hands of Lindsey and Herbert and just say, look, silent snap, I'm going to pinch your thigh. You're just going to hand me the ball, and we're both going to run forward while everybody's just standing still going, what the fuck's happening? Oops, excuse my language. I think that's going to work every single time. Just stop with this. Oh, I'm going to put these guys in motion, and he's going to come over here, and then we're going to get a penalty. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to bring in an extra blocker. Okay, Pipkins is lead, and false start. Forget that garbage.
Yeah.
Line up. Let Herbert do a silent count snap. Just dive head first in, let him yell, I was in, and let's walk away with the touchdown every time. Let's not screw around and pussyfoot around with these bullshit fake little calls. Just give Herbert the ball and let him win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to stop in that situation. And I do think there's parts of me when I watch the Chargers, certainly today. I know the first quarter was particularly bad. That first drive is like, and I'm always sat there thinking, are the coaching staff just holding their cards close to their chest? Are they just dialing up the heat gradually rather than starting off explosive? Because we've been led to believe in the off season, coming into the regular season, that Lombardi's going to mix it up. We're going to change the way we play, and it just does make there's always that doubt at the back of my mind that we're not actually going to show all our cards too early on. But you made a good point there, John. We've got to have a bit of common sense. 1 yard out, just let Herbert have the silent count and just go for it and come away. I mean, Dan, what's your take on the end with not taking the knee?
I was calling for the knee. I said to my wife at the time, why? Like we've got to just take a knee here, let Casey take the timeout, take another knee, then take our own timeout, and then just kick. But seeing as I'm not the kicker, we can't have any faith there. So I'm okay with it. It clearly worked. The risk was worth the reward there. And in the end, it wouldn't have been the worst. If we'd not got that, then it's not like Kansas did anything with the next drive anyway. It would have been a different situation, but I'm happy with the way things played out. I don't want to cast any doubt on the coaching staff here for risking it, because I'd rather us be aggressive, but I don't want us to be needlessly aggressive.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean,
great point. Mm-hmm.
There's one snap that I'm glad to say we've seen the back of today, and that was Herbert, 0 interceptions. We had obviously
4 touchdowns as well.
Say again, Dan?
4 touchdowns as well.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns. But it's great that he didn't create any turnovers, because again, it's a mental thing. You have a turnover in this game, it rolls into week 4, and it's like, when does Herbert stop this snap? Well, he stopped it. There's nothing to say that he's not going to throw another interception next week, but it's another positive that we can take away. I'm really interested to read and listen to what everyone's got to say from all the podcasts coming up this week on how good he was. Matt Fielder had a decent game. He was blocking well, certainly in the fourth quarter. I know, Bez, you picked up on Slater making a few rookie errors, but I think largely he had a good game.
He's quality, isn't he? And actually, the whole point is you don't notice him that much. He gets blown out a few times a game. I've started noticing a couple of penalties, but he's vastly above average to anything we've had for years in the Chargers, isn't he? So his consistency, and I just hope he can start easing out of the penalties and reduce the number of times that he lets his guy go by him. But on the whole, I'm not going to give him any grief. And my only one thing is the guy talking about not noticing guys. Anyone notice Derwin James? Didn't think he did much. I think he did his job by taking away the options that he was covering in the passing game. But you could always tell the class of a guy when you don't notice him, because the team is avoiding him. And I think that was
that time out. I think if he had not called that time out when he did, there was a penalty there. So the guy's smart, and I think that shoulder injury may have limited his snaps. I'll be writing about it tomorrow. Who stood out from the game, but look, if he's had a quiet game, Boza had a relatively quiet game with an ankle injury, and we still go away with the win.
I would say though that you call it a quiet game. I wouldn't. I saw Bosa's jersey right next to Patrick Mahomes a lot. He was creating pressure. He was
especially in those last 2 drives.
Yeah, I mean, and to touch on James, I think if we go back and I'll wait to see the final stats come out, but I am pretty sure if we look at how many times he was targeted there, you're going to see a really low number, because they just said, look, wherever Derwin is, we're keeping the ball away from him. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because we've got the defensive rookie of the year in Asante Samuel Jr. out there flying around the field.
Where did that come from?
You know what? And I don't care if people are going to say, oh, well, it was a tip ball. I'm like, I don't give a crap. You know what? To be able to have the wherewithal and the skill and the instincts to see the ball, identify it, and then just lay out for it. I mean,
the body control to get under it and to roll.
Gorgeous.
That must be 6 to 8
Gorgeous.
feet away when that ball's tipped from him.
Mm.
And like you say, to actually have the
So good.
athleticism to cover the ground
Mhm.
and make that catch,
I mean, gorgeous.
absolutely
He's
phenomenal.
a beast. I really hope that they put him up there for Rookie of the Week again, because I know we're gonna smash and get him another
I'll
straight
remember to vote this
award.
week.
Yeah, you
But
should.
you start to see chemistry down the defense. I mean,
Mhm.
Campbell with the 2 peanut punches, and then Davies to have the awareness to pick up the football and run with it.
Yeah, I thought
That
Davis had a really good game. I think he was really
He did.
solid. And someone I commented on during the game, Kaiser White. He's so up and down for me right now. I mean, I see him flying around, making tackles, being in the
And
right place,
sack.
and I'm excited. But then I see him fly by and miss some bad tackles. I mean, there was a
And
couple
then make a
big plays
tackle
that
out
were,
of bounds.
yeah, and then a few bonehead mistakes where you're just like, what are you doing there? So, I mean, I really want to get behind Kaiser White here, but I need him to clean it up. But yeah, and I'll eat a slipper.
I mean, Aloe
Drew
Gilman
Tranquil
turned.
was good. He was good. He needs more snaps. I admit, I was wrong. Tranquil needs more snaps.
Those are fantastic slippers, by the way.
I mean,
You like those?
Yeah.
what about our boy
I like
Gilman?
those.
Gilman showed up today.
Yeah, Aloy
Yeah.
Gilman. How about that? Hey, you know what? Today was a day where our core special teamers turned into actual defenders. I
We've
love
got
it.
a new number 32.
Yes.
Long gone is Eric Weddle.
Who?
Oh,
Eric
Yeah.
who?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I just love
Guys,
that development.
it's going to be a nice feeling tomorrow morning, waking up with that W and a winning record, and then we can look forward to the big one next week against that team from the desert. Any final thoughts, Dan?
Coach Staley never had a losing record as a head coach. Still.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bez?
I don't think we're ever going to lose again.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's a shame because I like that hat you're wearing too, but whatever. You do you, buddy. You do you.
Bez, I want to know what's going to come first: the completion of your house extension or the next Chargers loss.
Yeah, God. Either could be years away.
Or your internet connection being reinstated. Pay your bills. Oh, you can't because you keep paying charged up Bolts fines. That's correct. John, any final thoughts?
Yeah, as excited as I am about this win, I may have put myself in a tough position because I've worn my slippers and my pajama bottoms, and now I'm gonna have to wear these again for all the future games until they lose. So I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do. I mean, that's gonna be a real awkward Monday night game if I show up to SoFi in my slippers and my pants. But you got to do what you got to do for the victory.
You
Well,
got to do it.
I actually thought the key to this victory was you going on that Chiefs podcast the other day.
Maybe
So can you
I'll
go
have
there
to
every
reach out-
week?
Maybe I'll see if I could sneak into them. I was having a little bit of banter back and forth with Taylor. He's a good guy. So,
Yeah.
I decided to leave it alone in the fourth quarter. One, because I didn't want to have to deal with anything if they lost, and two, win like that, it doesn't do anyone any good to rub it in, to their faces at least.
No, I mean, look, the Chiefs, 2 Super Bowl appearances the last 2 seasons, including a win. They're now feeling how we felt for the last how many months, years, seasons. I have no sympathy whatsoever. Best team won today. We took our chances. The Bolts are 2-1. It's the Raiders next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back on Thursday, 15:30 Eastern Time and 20:30 British Summer Time for the Las Vegas Raiders preview. Thanks for tuning in. Bolt up, and we'll see you in the week.
Hold up.
Raiders suck.
Hashtag no risk it, no brisket.